One of the things I've learned as I continue to pursue a meaningful and intentional life is that how I end my evenings is just as important as how I start my mornings. My mornings tend to be my most productive hours of the day, so it's important for me that I make the most of them. Most of my writing is accomplished in the morning, as well as video filming. As a matter of fact, it is 10:16 a.m. right now as I record this video. Being at my best makes me more efficient and hopefully more helpful to you. So that's why I've developed an intentional practice over the years that I call before bed preparation. I don't recall anyone ever teaching it to me. It occurred naturally in my life around the time I started the Becoming Minimalist blog, and I began getting up early in the morning to write. In order to not waste any time, I would prepare some items ahead of time to make those mornings run smoother. Before bed prep is essentially a series of steps taken every night to ensure the next morning begins on the best possible note. As I've heard different mentors and people that I look up to mention doing the same thing, I've begun to recognize that the routine isn't just about saving time in the morning. It's about embracing purposeful living every day from the very beginning to the very end. And I highly recommend it. To give you an example, here are 7 steps that I take every evening for my before bed prep routine. Number 1, I set out my gym clothes. The first place I go every morning is to the gym. And so part of my prep every evening involves laying out my clothes and my shoes. They're set out right next to my bed. And putting them on and getting ready for the gym is the first thing I do. Number 2, I like to pick out my outfit for the day. I wear pretty much the same thing every day, so this isn't a difficult step for me, but choosing my specific clothes for the next day and setting them out makes it easy for me to grab them in the morning. Number 3, I create my morning to-do list. Almost every morning before waking up, I know exactly what I intend to accomplish that day. I typically do this every afternoon before leaving work, and I apply my 3-item to-do list criteria for the following morning. My afternoons can vary based on how efficient I was in the morning, but rarely do I sit down for work at the beginning of the day without knowing my 3 top goals. Number 4, I pack my work bag. Before I go to bed, I compile or even entirely pack my work bag for the next day. If I did any work during the evening, I collect it and put it away. In addition to keeping my mornings efficient, it helps me not forget anything, which is a bigger problem in my life than I like to admit. Number 5, I plan out my breakfast. As I've mentioned elsewhere, I eat the same breakfast every day. So planning my breakfast doesn't require a ton of effort, but I still do it. Even before eating the same thing every day, this was a helpful step in my before bed preparation. Number 6, a 10-minute evening tidy. One of the greatest benefits minimalism brought into our lives was the ability to quickly reset rooms and tidy up in the evening. Tidying the kitchen, living room, bedroom, and bathroom every evening before going to bed is something we've practiced in the Becker home for years. A calm and tidy home without yesterday's messes all around is one of the best ways to keep your mind focused on the opportunities of today rather than spending time cleaning up yesterday. And number 7, I set out my Bible devotional supplies. I have another video here on my channel where I describe the 3 most essential habits for living well, and they are exercise, eating healthy, and solitude. I mentioned exercise and eating well already on this list. My final step every evening before I go to bed is to set out my supplies for solitude and meditation, namely my Bible. Seeing it out every morning is a helpful visual reminder. While these 7 steps form my before bed preparation, there's no doubt yours will be different. As an example, here are some other ideas that might be helpful to consider for your unique lifestyle. Checking your calendar, packing your lunch, prepping your kids' school supplies, gathering any necessary pet items, preparing your coffee maker, setting out your actual breakfast food, laying out items you need for your morning self-care. Regardless of what you choose or don't choose, it is true that a focused and productive morning begins the night before. It can even help motivate you to get the day started if mornings aren't your thing. Consider incorporating before bed preparation into your nightly routine, even as just an experiment for a little while, and observe how it eases your transition into the day, making each of them more intentional and, hopefully, more meaningful.